So, hi everyone. My name is Amanda Decker, and I am the Senior Development Officer for Constituent Relations and Advancement Operations. And so, basically, what that means is I oversee alumni relations, donor relations, professional development, annual giving, prospect management, and advancement services here at the school. So, I like to call myself, the Wizard of Oz, and and I help see like the bigger picture for alumni engagement. I am joined here tonight by one of your fellow grads, Amanda Cruz, a 2020 graduate of the program who is currently a human resources assistant here at the LA Dodgers. Hi, Amanda. Welcome.
Hello, thank you all for having me. I'm excited to talk about DPC. And yeah, I'm just happy to be back.
Great. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, especially now that you just hit the job market and you were hired by the Dodgers, who were your internship?
Yeah. So again, I am MSW 2020. I'm a VAC student, so it really lent itself, those skills, being comfortable with Zoom really lent itself really, really well nowadays. I did it, did I foresee that? No, but it really, really helped me out and gave me a lot of leverage in terms of job market. I interned with the advancement office as a student worker and also with the alumni relations office. I was really fortunate to connect with Amanda and Asha at an early point in my MSW program. I also interned with St. Barnabas Senior Center as HR assistant and case manager intern. So I learned a lot about senior work and working with older adult populations. That led me to an internship with Los Angeles Dodgers, dream job for me. And really, I think the toughest question, or kind of oddball question that I received in my interview was, why social worker in human resources? And I think if you really think about all the different things a social worker is asked to do, it's no different than what someone does in human resources, except my clients are employees. So a lot of the skills I learned in this program really do help me with my current roles and duties I do now. So like I said, I'm just really anxious to be back and talk about my experience and help other alumni that are in this really crucial year and where technology is a crucial point in terms of building communities.
Perfect. Thank you, Amanda. So we're going to put a couple of links in the chat box. Our colleague Maeve is going to be posting some links throughout the message. We'll put a link to Dworak-Peck Connect, which I will often refer to as DPC. It's just comes out of my mouth. And so there will be a link to sign up there if you haven't signed up already. Especially since I think we're going to do a little bit of an interactive webinar. We're going to literally walk you through the platform live once we go through a couple of slides. And then if you ever need to reach out to me personally, feel free to reach out to me. My email address will go in the chat, amanda.decker@usc.edu. I also monitor the SOC alumni, so it's swalumni@usc.edu. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions individually. And so tonight, you can use the chat box to interact with one another and really ask questions and things like amongst one another. But I ask if you have questions for myself or Amanda, so we'll do Decker and Cruz because we're both Amanda tonight. We are anyways, but so it's not so confusing. I'm Amanda Decker, Amanda Cruz, and so if you have questions for either one of us, feel free to use the Q&A feature. I've enabled it so that if you can upload a question. So if we see a lot of interest in a question, we'll definitely make sure to get to some of those questions. And then you can also add comments maybe for clarification on a question. So we'll get to that after we do kind of the main walkthrough of DPC. So without further ado, so DPC at the school has been around for just under 3 years, but it took a little while to get up and running. And so we launched in early 2019 to alumni and students. And we've been actively trying to get alumni and students and community members on the platform. DPC is kind of your one-stop shop for all things information related to USC Suzanne Dworak-Peck School of Social Work and the Department of Nursing. I call it's like LinkedIn on steroids. It's a great platform because it's just specific to the Trojan Network. It's not it's very specific to our students, our alumni, and community members who would like to join our platform. Through this platform, you can share your work experiences, explore new career opportunities, and even reconnect with peers and colleagues. It was built for you, and it has a lot of great features and a lot of great resources on the platform. Things like licensing resources and the ASW supervision list, which I know a lot of students and faculty members, students and alumni are eager to see those resources. So we're going to launch a poll in just a moment with a couple of questions. So if Maeve, if you can go ahead and launch that poll. The first question is, are you currently signed up on Dworak-Peck Connect? Second question is, have you heard of DPC? And I'm trying to get a good gauge on my audience here. So we'll give you guys a few moments to get your results in, just so that we have a good idea of who's signed up tonight and who's here. So good. It's good. We've got about half of you signed up for DPC, so that's great. We're going to get the other half of you signed up after we leave or throughout the night. And most of you have heard of DPC, so that really makes me excited. And so I'm hoping tonight, after a walkthrough, it will push you over the edge to sign up. And most of you are alumni, so I will likely show when I walk through the alumni portal, but I'll point out a couple of differences for students. When we walk through the platform, my view is just a teensy bit different, just because I am an admin, so I can see everything. But I'll try to point out things that are specific to students versus alumni. So, Amanda, I think you have a couple questions for me.
I do. Like I said, I just graduated in May. My trajectory is a little bit different. I'm a Sky student, so I may need different resources, just like, our COIF students, so on and so forth. How can I get them out of the Dworak-Peck Connect?
I really encourage you to be active. I think that's the biggest thing is you need to ask questions. Don't be afraid to connect. What's really great, especially in this digital universe that we're all living in right now with the pandemic, I've spoken to so many alumni and students who are active and eager to reach out to build their networks, alumni who are eager to mentor our students and even mentor other alumni and connect with other alumni. We're all craving, that social interaction right now. And so I really encourage you to just keep on connecting, send messages to folks, and check out the different types of resources that we have, which I'll show a little bit later. What's so great is it's the Trojan family, and everyone here in the Trojan family is here to support you in any way that we can. Even I'm not a social worker, but I know a ton of social workers and nurses, thanks to, my role and through DPC. And so oftentimes if you reach out to me and, as a student, often I'll get, hey, I'm interested, I'm a Sky student, should I go get my license? Well, I don't know necessarily that question, but I know a bunch of alumni who would be more than happy to answer that question based on their own experiences. So you really get, you get taught by your faculty, by the faculty members and the professors here at the school, and then you can get great resources and connections with our alumni.
And I have a question someone had asked, what's a SCI student? So a SCI student is Social Change and Innovation, so SCI. Sorry of confusion. So that was my concentration in my program. So SCI student is what we're typically referred to. But Amanda, I wanted to get back to connecting with people and helping others. How can I help students that maybe want to connect with me, or maybe other alumni that want to connect with me? How can I help out?
Well, I think you should share your experiences and your career journey with other alumni and students. You know, as an alum, you can help students define, their goals and really where they want to go. You can do that with your other alumni, and you can do that with yourself. As you develop your career interests and face new challenges, I encourage you to stay committed to your connections. I spoke to an alum recently who said, when I wasn't working on my MSW and my DSW, I was working on building my network. The Trojan family is a real thing. It's really strong. I've spoken to numerous alumni who have said, when I'm in a position to hire, and all things are equal, I usually hire the Trojan. And so it's really important and critical for you to build out your network.
Now, social workers, we do like to talk, but what happens in the rare instance I don't know what to say? What do I say to open up that dialogue, and vice versa? If someone connects with me, what are some things I should say or ideal, I guess?
Yeah, no, ask open-ended questions. Like, really put your thinking cap on, and what would you want to know about this person based on their profile? Do they have the same interest as you? Talk a little bit about that. Share a little bit about yourself, your career journey. What are you passionate about in your career? What made you take this leap here and that leap there? Really ask the what's and the how's. Use your social work and nursing, background to really, get at the heart of building out your network.
Definitely. All right. Well, thank you for that. And now, in the rare instance that no one responds, and I put my heart on the line, I've given my background, I've done all that, and then what happens if they don't respond?
Well, I encourage you to give them a couple of days. Everyone's in digital overload. But in the rare instance that they don't respond, I encourage you to reach out to us, and we'll put the email again in the chat, swalumni@usc.edu.
Got it.
I respond to that generally about 2 to 3 times a week. I'm in that email address, and I will then maybe refer you to someone else that I know is active on the platform, or suggest that, hey, why don't you try this person or that person? I think it's really critical for you to try many people and not just kind of put all your eggs in a basket into one person. Really explore, use the tools to explore, the other Trojans on the platform and their various career interests, because we have a lot of great Trojans in our alumni family. We've got, Karen Bass over in politics, and we've got CEOs of US vets, and we've got Trojans all over. And so the Trojan family is strong. So I would just highly encourage you to kind of spread your wings and reach out to multiple alumni. You're going to get some connections, and if all else fails, reach out to me and I will suggest some alumni for you. We also have this great tool on the platform where if a student reaches out to me and they have an interest in, psychiatric social work, well, I've got a great alum who's interested in psychiatric social work over in Boston, Jennifer Blewett, who is more than eager to connect with students and alumni in her career field in psychiatric social work. So all else fails, reach out to us and we can help make some connections for you, or at least do a soft intro for you. Awesome. If all else fails.
Yeah, no, thank you for answering that.
Yeah, so let me just make sure. So a little bit back to the PowerPoint, kind of, so why you should join. I mean, this is really, it's the only place you're going to find all of our licensing resources. It's the only place you're going to find our ASW supervision. And a lot of times it's the only way you're going to be able to connect with alumni. You know, I had students reach out to me saying, hey, they wanted to get some quotes from our alumni about, professional development and networking. And I said, well, you should reach out to them on DPC, because that is the best way to reach out our alumni, especially the alumni who have kind of raised their hand and said, yes, I'm willing to help. And so that's what's really great about this community. This community has signed up, and they're active, and they're ready and willing to help. So once you join, it's a pretty easy process, and I'll walk through that on the next slide. But once you join, and I'll walk through these in our interactive live walkthrough, you will want to explore the community and connect with others, students, alumni mentors who share your interests. So you can look by career interests, you can look by help topics. So alumni have said, hey, I'm willing to help with resume critiques, or I'm willing to help with mock interviews. And so and burnout, I'm willing to help on career transition. There's so many different topics that when you sign up as an alum, when you sign up, you can self-identify yourself. You can also say, hey, I'm willing to mentor students. You can identify yourself as LGBTQ. You can identify as a military veteran. I'm a first-gen student. And so that way we can help make some matches for you.
So Amanda, if I'm not mistaken, the students are only able to reach out to alumni, correct? For privacy reasons, is that still true?
Yeah, that is true. So for FERPA guidelines, students can really only interact. They have to make the connection to alumni. So that's what's really important. So as a student, build up that confidence and just start making connections. And sending messages to alumni who you think are interesting or who might have similar career interests, because they can't reach out to you until that two-way conversation has been established. And so I highly encourage you to be active and reach out to alumni. So an alumni, there is no restriction. You can talk to each other, no restrictions there. So once you sign up, it's pretty easy. You go to so if you're a student, there is a button that says USC Net ID, and you sign in with your USC Net ID, and you're auto approved. I don't have to do anything. You're in my database. You complete your profile. Answer a couple questions based on your interests, your career interests. You can import your LinkedIn profile and go from there. Alumni, you just sign up with your email address and you can import your LinkedIn, and I approve them once a day. So once I confirm your alumni record, I will go ahead and confirm, and you are all set to explore the platform. So once you've signed up, you want to build your profile and catch people's attention by uploading a photo. So that's another way I would encourage you to upload a photo and write, a catching headline, complete your areas of interest and help topics. And you can do a matching quiz that will, based on kind of the questions that you filled out, will match you with other alumni. So alumni will match you with alumni, and students, it will match you with alumni. So that's kind of the first step to, once you get signed up, you complete that matching quiz, and that will start connecting you and sending you some matches based on your interests. So with that, I'm going to stop screen share here, and we're going to go into the live platform. I'll probably take a breath, check the chat window just to make sure that you know, if there's any questions or answers, and then I'm going to, as soon as I get out of the PowerPoint, I'm going to open up another screen share and really walk you guys through the platform. Like I said, I'm going to show the alumni because most people are alumni on this webinar here, but feel free to ask questions in the Q&A, or I'll try to call out where there might be some differences for alumni and students. Let me get this next screen share going. And okay, so hopefully everyone can see my screen. Amanda nodded. If you can see my screen, perfect. And so once you've signed up, well, actually, first I'm going to show you. If you haven't signed up, you'll likely get you'll sign up for DPC, but up in here in the top left-hand corner, if you hit Browse Hubs, you can also sign up for the USC Career Center. So that's the that's the kind of the parent program. So we're a hub of the USC Career Center's Trojan Network. So I highly encourage you to also sign up for the Trojan Network at the same time. And that's just the bigger, broader Trojan family, and not just social work and nursing, but they have a lot of great resources and great connections there as well. So once you sign up for DPC and you do all your matching quizzes and everything, you're generally going to come to this homepage. And so this is a great kind of just once over where you can sync your calendar, check your inbox, update your profile. Here's some recommended matches for you. It does look a little different on the student side, and I do have another, maybe I don't have another tab open, with the alumni or with the student version. But the student, yeah, it didn't stay open. So the student version just looks a little bit different here, but it's still got all the same types of resources. It's just organized a little bit different. You'll see some recent posts from our discussion board. I've got Dr. Murali Nair. He's very active on the platform, and he posts daily kind of good morning messages to alumni and students, oftentimes accompanied by a video. And then we'll post things like the other day I posted class notes. So we submitted a bunch of class notes, and I shared them here. The latest resources, these will be generally specific to you. A lot of the resources are available to both alumni and students, but there are oftentimes resources that are just maybe limited to students. So things like I just posted an update on student affairs resources. There might be some events that are specific to students. So for example, tonight's webinar is open to everyone, but because I can see it and you guys are seeing it because I'm a super admin, and so it shows me everything. But for example, we're hosting an alumni social work session for students on Wednesday, and so that is limited just to students. But then we'll list all of our career development stuff. So our CEU courses, we do some partnerships with UCCF. We do partnerships with the California Society for Clinical Social Work. And so you can see various events here. You see a lot of social work sessions because we've got a good slate of social work sessions. So if you're a student, there's one Wednesday with our alum. So please check it out. She's a great alum, and you'll love networking with her. And so back to our homepage. So that's the homepage, and this is really where kind of a good snapshot of everything is for you. The Explore the Community tab is really where you're going to do some fine tuning to look for people within with similar interests. So if you know their name, you can always search their name. So I can type in Amanda Cruz and hit apply, and I'm going to find Amanda Cruz's profile here within Dworak-Peck Connect. You can search for someone, there's a lot of you online, I like that. You can search by location. So, hey, I'm interested in connecting with people in the Nashua, New Hampshire area. Let me see if there's some alumni in the Nashua, New Hampshire area here who I can connect with. Again, you know, especially a lot of our alums are here in Southern California, but for those of you outside of Southern California, this is a great way to find other Trojans in your area. You can also search by industry experience. So I'm looking for someone who's like Amanda, I'm looking for someone who's got a human resources background. And I can, you know, click here and hit apply. And that's going to bring me everyone who has some sort of human resources background within their profile. And so I can, you know, find someone and then hit let's connect and send a message. There's also more filters. So we did the human resources. Let's clear all our filters. But there's more filters. So besides industry experience, you can look at their degree type. You can look at, and it's going to be all inclusive of multiple types of degrees because this is part of the larger platform. But you can, let's close that. You can search by help topics. So, hey, I'm looking for someone who would be willing to look at my resume. So I'm going to hit apply. I'm going to hit resume and CV critique, hit apply. And look at that. There's 128 people who have self-identified themselves who said, yeah, I'm willing to look at resumes and cover letters. You can also look by, say, if you wanted to do some mock interviews, or, hey, I'm having a career transition. Is there someone I can reach out to who's had maybe a similar experience? You can do that. You know, grant writing, job shadowing, you know, all sorts of various kind of topics, help topics, avoiding burnout, diversity, inclusion, that kind of thing. So feel free to apply as many filters as you would like. Although I try to be like broad and then start narrowing down once, you know, I've seen a couple of people's profiles. So that's generally the Explore the Community tab. For our demonstration, I'm going to pull up Amanda's profile for everyone. And so if I was, oh, it's because I've got the filters on. That's why sometimes.
I swear I'm in there. I'm in there, I swear.
No, it's because the filter was on. So I'm going to type, you were on earlier, so I know you were Amanda Cruz, and I'm going to put in her name. And great, I found Amanda's profile. I'm going to click, I'm going to view it. Great background. I want to connect with Amanda. So I'm going to hit message. So right from their profile or back in that kind of snapshot screen, you can hit message. So I'm going to hit message, and it's going to take you to your inbox. And oh, it's not going to take you to your inbox, excuse me. But this is where you can write a quick message. Hi, Amanda. I'm just going to write test. I would love to talk to you a little bit about your experience at the Dodgers. You know, would you be available to connect sometime? You can hit request a meeting, and then you can hit send. So let's add a meeting to my invite, and let's suggest Thursday at 6 and hit send. So we're going to send this message to Amanda, and I'm going to show you guys So what's great about this platform is this platform was doing, video conferencing in Zoom before everyone was doing Zoom. So again, we say it usually takes alumni a couple of days to get their messages. So we can go back to her profile, and then I'm going to go into my my inbox so that you guys can see what the inbox experience looks like. And I'm going to let this load, and you can now see that I have sent a message to Amanda and requested a 30-minute video chat. What's really great is you can start the video call up here. And I just received a reply message from Amanda. Thanks, Amanda. I can start the video chat once we've scheduled the call. You can always just do a phone call. And you can just do some general managing of the conversations. You can accept the meeting and, hey, yep, I'm going to accept the meeting. It's scheduled for Thursday. We're going to do 30 minutes and we're going to save it. And it is scheduled once she accepts it. And so what's really great is, within our conversation, so Amanda and I have started this mentor-mentee relationship. What's really great is not only do you have your chat dialogue between each other, and you can start, video phone calls and just general phone calls, as you can create some action plans and some goals. So, Amanda, as my mentor, is going to create, help me work through some goals. So what do I, in this relationship that I'm building with Amanda, what do I want to accomplish through this relationship? And so you guys can identify and work through some goals, through your mentor-mentee relationship. You can add notes, you can share files. It's really like a one-stop shop for all your messages. And as for the alumni out there who might be managing multiple student relationships, the reason why I always encourage alums to make connections on DPC versus, say, your email inbox is it's really a great way to house all your Trojan connections specific to the social work and nursing community. It has your full-on your inbox, and you can manage all the details within DPC rather than getting lost in your email inbox or on this calendar or that calendar. It's really a one-stop shop to manage your social work and nursing connections here. So that is our kind of messaging. That's the messaging overview with the video connect and calendaring. Set some goals aside, add some notes, that kind of a thing. And only you guys can, you guys can see that. I can't see this, so it stays private to you. So the next thing I would love to walk you through is the discussion board. And so this discussion board is just, think of it like your general Q&A. Say, hey, or just announcements, that kind of thing. Hey, I have this great resource on diversity, equity, inclusion. I'd love to share it with my Trojan family. You can post it in there and write a little message, add the link, and put it in there. Or say, hey, I'm looking for someone who's willing to supervise in the Nashua, New Hampshire area. I grew up around there. That's why I keep using that. Nashua, New Hampshire area. Is there anyone here from Nashua that would be willing to supervise? So I post on here. So like when we did some ASW supervision lists, which I generally update every other month. So we did a big update in July, and we're due for another update by the end of the month. So, and I will show you guys the ASW supervision list. And Dr. Nair posts, and I apologize for my barking dog, posts his daily kind of tidbits and messages here. I've seen other alumni post other kind of types of questions or things like that. So really use this as a way to interact with one another, because maybe it will spark a connection to a fellow Trojan that, you know, is going to be, you know, a mentor or mentee relationship or something like that. So the next section I want to walk you guys through is the resources tab. And this is where we house all of that information. So sometimes I hear from colleagues who have at the Career Center who are counseling our students. And, you know, our students might be a little frustrated that there's no one to do supervision, or I don't know where the licensing resources are. They're all housed here. And the reason why we house all these resources on Dworak-Peck Connect is so that it stays exclusive to the Trojan family. You know, we've got a list right now of 80 plus or so ASW on the ASW supervision list. And I don't want that to go out into the ethers of the internet and to really get, you know, people outside the Trojan family connecting with those who are willing to supervise. I really want that to stay exclusive to our Trojan family. So that's why we house all these resources on Dworak-Peck Connect, and we encourage students to be active on the platform. And we're looking at even more ways for students to be active, including getting student org on the platform and some caucuses on the platform. So that way also alumni can come back. So say I was part of the social work and the arts caucus back in the day. Well, now I can join it and see what they're up to, and they can post their events and things like that. And so that's why, you know, DPC is expanding, and we look forward to having some more resources and connections and groups over the next year. So in our resources tab, we have a bunch of tiles up here. Job resources, job search resources, and a lot of career development resources, licensing resources, nursing career resources. So any nurses here on the call, we've got some resources specific to you, some continuing education. So a lot of times we're hosting webinars that we house we host for our alumni and for our students, and then we'll post them exclusively in here. So yes, we had a live interactive webinar, but we host the recording here in DPC. So again, exclusive content for the DPC platform. And we're looking at hosting even more. So I'd highly encourage you to keep checking back for more resources and events. We showcase the library resources. So there are some specific resources on here that are exclusive specifically to students or alumni. So whatever your profile is set to, so if you are an alum, you'll only see the alumni resources. If you are a student, you're going to see the student resources. We have group resources, and so that way, and I'll kind of go over this, actually I'll just go over it now. If you're interested in forming a group on DPC, so say, you know, I actually get a lot of requests. We have a private group for our cohort in the social work and balance, so self-care, resiliency, and that's a hot, you know, obviously a hot topic right now. And so we're looking at forming a public version of it. This one is very specific to the 12-month-long program, but we're looking at a public version of it, but I need some moderators to, you know, moderate it throughout the month, post topics, that kind of a thing. So if you're interested in moderating your group like that, or you and a fellow Trojan are interested in that, I would love to hear from you. So we list the guidelines, and we have some group moderator responsibilities and guidelines. And then there's an application, and it will take you to the link, and then I'll get an email saying, you know, Amanda Cruz is interested in forming this group, and it sets all the guidelines and expectations for managing the group. But we'd like to see you active on the platform. Groups are relatively new for us. We have a few groups, but we haven't We're really trying to build up our groups. So if you're interested in starting a group, please check out the groups resource tab and check it out. So kind of back to our job search resources. So we'll have things like job postings, career development, instructional videos. So one of our former colleagues who did a lot of career resources and videos, we have a bunch of those links on here. We have some career development resources. So how to download sample cover letters, how to write a cover letter, how to write a professional social work resume, how to write a federal resume, kind of the arts of interviewing. So a bunch of resources here. And then we don't see this, and this is where I'm actually going to switch to show students on the call. Students, there are some specific resources in the job search resources tab. It takes you to the Career Center's big interview tool. So it's an AI enhanced interviewing tool. So that way you can do your practice interviews. And then down here, there's the VMOC Smart Resume tool. We've sent in the social work resume and the nursing resume. So it's an AI enhanced resume tool for you. So you can kind of go in there, sign up. I can't even get in. So sign up and check it out. And so feel free to use that service. And additionally, for any VAC students on the call, you also have the option to use the VAC Career Services Center. So I highly encourage you to check that out. So I'm going to go back to the view as an alum, since most of our everyone on the call is our alumni. So if you have, so here's our job search resources, and then we have a bunch of licensing resources. We do a video with an event with the BBS and the California Society for Clinical Social Work on how to become an LCSW in California. And Kim Madsen from the BBS is amazing, and she literally walks you through step by step on how to get your license. We did two because it went virtual. We were only supposed to host one, but we ended up hosting both, and we had 200 questions answered. So we really take the time. She really takes the time to answer your questions. So if anytime anyone has a licensing question, a lot of times I refer them to that video. So I have the 2018 and the 2020 version of this video. So that way people can see the difference, So, and then there's just kind of an overall guide to social work licensing. So obviously, since a lot of our alumni are in California, we do have a lot of licensing resources in California. There are a couple other key states we've kind of pointed out and directed you to those resources within those individual states. But if your state's not on here, feel free to send me an email, either SW alumni or Amanda.Decker, to say, hey, could you post some resources for, I don't know, New Hampshire. And we'll look to see what we can find and post them there. But this covers a lot of where our alumni are located. But you can always send us a quick email. So how to become an LCSW in California. There's 12-part videos for a review workshop for California Law and Ethics for ASWs. The coveted LCSW clinical supervision list, some exam study resources. So we've negotiated discounts with providers who have study guides and study courses. So check those out. So if you're seeking your license and you're looking to study, just a general pathway to license in California, and then just the national general pathway to social work license and at a national level. And so definitely here's the, I'm not going to pull it up just because I don't want to have people's private information on the screen in the recording, but here is where it opens a PDF into, not here, over here, LCSW is offering clinical supervision. So if you are seeking your license, so Amanda, I know you and I have talked that you're interested in seeking your license too, even as a Sky student. And I think that's a myth that a lot of people, get or hear, is that, if you're a Sky student, should you or should you not get licensed? But Amanda can easily check out this resource here for the 80 plus alums we do have some faculty members on there. We encourage you to do your own research on them. These are just people who identify, so double check that their their license is up to date, and really do your homework, and if there's any kind of rate or anything, that's between you and the LCSW. And we just highly encourage you to do your homework when you're choosing a supervisor. So in general, those are kind of the various resources we have. I'm not sure if this is going to open. I've got some miscellaneous resources, so if they don't necessarily fit in a specific area, we'll put them here. So definitely check out our resources tab. So events, and this is where you're going to see a lot of events that if you're alumni, it's just because I'm a super admin. So a lot of these social work alumni sessions are specific to students only. So you're not going to see that in your version of DPC. Oh, I forgot to mention on the resources, if you have a resource you think would be worthy of sharing and adding to our resource library, please email me, amanda.decker@usc.edu. Maeve's going to put my email in the chat. Or better yet, send me a message on DPC, and she'll also put a link to my profile on DPC. So I highly encourage, if you've got some resources I want to build out our resource library. So if you've got a resource worth sharing, please, by all means, send it to me. So the next thing is, so we post all of our events, so school-wide events that our office, so alumni and career development, kind of take part in, although we generally take part in a lot. So we'll have a lot of events in here. So we post our events in here, so you can always sign up here. Sometimes we might have you RSVP through an external link, but I'm working on the Zoom integration, so hopefully we can get everything all in one place. But in the meantime, you can sign up here, go to the external link, and enter in your information, or just sign up here. So some of them I'll just have them in here, and then I might shoot you an email with another link. We have all our CEUs, the California Hall of the California Social Work Hall of Distinction induction is coming up, and Marlene, who's on the call, is actually one of our alums who is being inducted. So Dr. Marlene Wong is being inducted, and so you can go in here and register for the event, and so you'll see all of our various events. So what I would like, though, is, we obviously post a lot of events, but if you're hosting an event that would be appropriate for the Trojan alumni, whether it's, a webinar or something like that, there is a way for you to add an event. So I highly encourage you, if it's something that you feel is worth sharing to your Trojan family, I highly encourage you to put your events in here, so that way this really becomes, a user-generated community. So the content that is being generated is your guys. It's relevant to you. And it's not just me putting our events or me posting things. So, this is your community. Really take this community by the horns. you know, by the reins. So add, you know, your events. There is a moderation process, so I have to go in and approve. But generally, if I can see the applicability to the alumni population, I'm going to go ahead and improve it or approve it. So get your events in if it's relevant to the social work and nursing community. Please, by all means, especially in a time now where we're all working. You know, a lot of us are working remotely. You know, these digital events are big, and so I highly encourage you to add your event. So I do have another poll. Maybe if you can give me the assist. So I would like to know what types of events you would like to see our office host in the future. So if you guys can go ahead, you can select more than one answer. Perfect. Networking, yes. CEUs, yes. Career development, good. These are all great choices. Networking is definitely one, and one that we're looking at some networking nights, so alumni panels in specific industry areas, and then some small, maybe a breakout group networking nights. So we are looking at that. So I'm excited to see that. So great, great suggestions, everyone. And we look forward to kind of keep checking back on DPC. If your email is updated within our alumni database, you do get our monthly newsletter called News Bites, and we will put in our events on that calendar or link out. So I highly encourage you to make sure that your alumni, your email is up to date. And so if you have any questions on that, you can always reach out to me, because I can double check to say, oh yeah, this is the email I have on file. Is that correct? And I apologize, my dog. So this is the email I have on file for you. So feel free to reach out to me if you're saying, hey, I don't get your emails. And I'll double check your alumni profile. But that's where we post a lot of our events initially. And then you can always check in for DPC. That's where we'll post all of our events as well. I kind of post them in multiple areas all at once. For those of you who said other, I highly encourage, and Maeve is going to put in the chat box, I highly encourage you to check out and submit your idea to us. There's an alumni get involved link. Also, if you are an LCSW who's willing to supervise and you have not sent me your name, feel free to fill that out. And then when I do the September rounds of updates, there is a way, and I won't, actually I'll show you guys this now. There is a way to mark yourself as, hey, I'm willing to mentor alumni, I'm willing to mentor students, I'm willing to supervise. Maeve is going to go ahead and put that, if she probably already did, she's 2 steps ahead of me. But you can tell us what types of professional development, programming, and CEUs you want to see, and then you can mark yourself for the ASW supervision. Because I've gotten some confusion from students, I've also put the clarification, like, are you an ASW seeking supervision, or are you an LCSW willing to supervise? So we walked through events, and I already walked through groups. And so the last thing I want to show you on DPC, and I'm going to wrap up real quick because I didn't realize what time it was. So you can also refer Trojan. So if you explore the community and you know your classmate from 1995 is not on this community and you think it's a really great resource for them, you can go ahead, send them a link, and it will auto send them a message with the link to sign up for DPC. So I highly encourage you to do that. So with that being said, I'm going to stop my screen share, and Amanda has been monitoring our questions. And go ahead and start asking me some questions.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, these are questions from you, for Amanda. The first question is, what is the difference between this platform, so DPC, and People Grove? Is it one and the same?
Yeah, so this is powered by People Grove. So People Grove is like, I don't even know what to refer to it, but this is powered by People Grove. And so it's just one and the same.
Okay, perfect. Next question is, do you need to use LinkedIn in your profile, or can you change it for USC?
No, I mean, you can change it. You don't need to use LinkedIn. Is that's, I hope that's a question. You don't need, you can type your profile out. It's just a lot, for some, it's a lot easier just to connect their LinkedIn profile, but by all means, start from scratch or copy and paste from your resume, whatever's easy for you.
Got it. All right. The next question is, what happens when you graduate and become an alumni? Does the Connect just change automatically, or do we have to update it?
So that's a great question. Generally within 2 to 3 months after graduation, like for example, the May grads and the August grads, I did all at once. So I go ahead and transition you to an alum. So you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to sign up for it again. If you're a student, you get transitioned automatically by us once we load in the graduates, and everything is taken care of on your end.
Awesome. Another question, are the activities concentrated to California or all alumni?
So, I mean, thanks to the one positive for the pandemic has been really, it has allowed our programming to reach all audiences. And honestly, I look forward to that being the norm for our programming. So when we're building out programming, I'm always going to generally look at what does the Zoom option look like first. So when we do eventually get back to in-person events, we're still going to build it around the digital and Zoom streaming. And we might still have a live component, but it's definitely going to be applicable to the larger, broader nationwide audience. I will say there are some resources specific to California. So our partnership with the University Consortium of Children and Family, they offer limited number of CEU opportunities for our alumni. That's specific to California. And a lot of our programming with CEUs might be specific to California, just because right now we can only offer CEUs in the state of California for LCSWs and ASWs, LMFTs, LPCCs. But we are exploring what it would look like for kind of a broader nationwide program. But so stay tuned. It's not something that you build out overnight. So it is something that we're looking at.
And maybe you can expand a little bit more. You touched on a little bit with the UCCF of the consortium. What additional CEU opportunities, webinar, are those available on BC?
Yeah, definitely. So we did a summer series of webinars with some of our key faculty. So we did one on, wellness during the age of COVID with Dr. Maria Hayden and Dr. Steve Hayden. And that was out of the ballpark. And that recording is linked in DPC. So again, especially if it's something that my office is putting on, we're looking at how this can hit our broader alumni audience. And so, yes, we do post these events. We'll host the live webinar, and then we'll post the resource, the video link on DPC for those that might have missed it, or those that just didn't know about it or couldn't make it. And did that answer the question? Sorry, I got it.
And then do you get your CEUs after you watch the webinar? Is that something available?
So actually, we haven't done a live webinar with CEUs yet. So we are looking at that with some of the in-person versus web. There are a few more regulations that we have to follow, like we have to have a post-event test. And so we're looking at we're looking at that from our end, but the partners so we partner with the California Society of Clinical Social Work, and we did, we have an upcoming webinar on suicide prevention. So those of you who need that for your license for the new regulation in January, you have a last opportunity to get it in October. I think it's October 3rd and 10th. Again, you can check out the link on DPC. That is a paid opportunity. So we offer a mix of free and paid opportunities. And then we have another, like a law and ethics in November with CSW. And so we do a mix of free and post, and we are looking at, or free and paid, and we are looking at opportunities, upcoming opportunities for some of these smaller webinars for about like 1 to 1.5 CEUs. But again, right now we can only do California CEUs.
Got it. Okay. I have a question, last two questions. If you would like to post a job as an alumni, do you go on and post it yourself, or do we provide it to you to post?
So that's a great question. Actually, let me just one more time share my screen. And I'm going to walk you guys back through. So didn't provide that link to me, but we can get this. I'll post this in the chat. So here on our website, Alumni Career Development, we have a job bank, and you can easily go in and post a job. If you have a link to the external posting, so it's just going to take them to the external posting with all the details, just put your information, the posting date, so you can post, you know, for however long the job is open. Please put an end date, because when I go in and approve those that don't put an end date, I usually just put 30 days. But see this little link? This means it's going to take you to an external posting. But there are some where, say you wanted the resume emailed to you, it will fill out, you can fill out all the job description, job category. There are a lot of options for you, and then how you can apply. So they can email this person here for the job. So if you are in a position, and this is, again, we'll just kind of wrap this all around to the Trojan family, right? The importance of the Trojan family. You know, if you're in a position to hire, that, you know, hire a Trojan. You know, all things being equal, hire a Trojan. You know, I really encourage you to post your job. So if you know of a job, if you're hiring for a job, you know, post it on our job board, and really, you know, try to keep, you know, this Trojan family going and keep everybody connected. You know, I was talking to a student the other day who said, you know, I can speak very highly of the Trojan family. I got, you know, this internship because of, you know, a Trojan alum. And then I got a promotion or hired in because of a Trojan alum. And then I got promoted by another Trojan alum. And so the Trojan family is strong, right, Amanda?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, I can definitely do that. I've had opportunities presented to me from several states away because they are alum. So sometimes people reach out to you when you're not necessarily even looking. It's just that you have a USC tag, email, something associated with the Trojan family, and people will reach out to you. So yeah, I can definitely say that it's a definitely strong family bond there.
Yeah. So yes, post your jobs here. I put a link in the chat below. And then are we done with Q&A, Amanda? Did we get all that?
We have one more.
Okay.
We have one more. I'm not exactly sure that this would be answered with DPC specifically, but let's give it a go. Who handles alumni email, and is there a way to access via PeopleGrove?
So if you're talking about the general, and feel free to add in the chat any clarifying. If you're talking about like the general at alumni.usc.edu, that is handled by the USC Alumni Association, and you can sign up for a free account on their website. If you are talking about like your PeopleGrove email or your email associated with your DPC account, you can reach out to me, Amanda.Decker or SW Alumni, and I'm more than happy to maybe answer your question because I'm a little unsure of what the question is. But I can also change your email associated with your DPC account, or if you need to change your password or something like that, you can reset. I forgot my password, and it'll send you a password. But if you want to change your email associated with the account, feel free to reach out to the SW Alumni, and I can go in and update your account for you.
Yeah, the panelist said she will reach out to you.
Perfect.
Yes.
So great. Well, I think we covered everything. Hopefully I've answered all the questions you might have had. Hopefully I encourage you to sign up if you haven't. If you have signed up, get active, be active. If you're a student, reach out to alumni. Alumni, answer the questions from students. If a student reaches out to you and you've, raised your hand to say, hey, I'm willing to, mentor or take questions from students, I really encourage you to stay active on the platform and answer our students' emails. So that way I don't get emails from them saying, so-and-so hasn't responded. Make that commitment to be a part, be active and communicate with the Trojan family, because you never know when an opportunity is going to present yourself and for whatever reason. So with that being said, we'll put in some last couple of reminders. If you haven't signed up, sign up, and my email address. I want to thank you, Amanda, for joining me tonight, walking me through it, hearing a little bit more about your journey and why the Trojan family is important, and why you should kind of take the time and invest in your network, in DPC, in the Trojan family, because you never know what opportunity it could open for you. So thank you everyone for attending. With that being said, again, feel free to reach out to me. And as we always say here in this Trojan family, fight on. Bye, everyone.